Let's try this again. Sorry, everybody. I don't know what happened. We'll wait for everybody to jump back on. I'll do a quick recap, and then I will jump back into where I left off. I am so sorry about that. I don't know what happened. Instagram likes to be Instagramming sometimes. Hi again. Just put some emojis in the comments if we're here, if you can hear me okay. I am so sorry. Okay, and we're back. My people are back. Okay. So just put some comments in the chat. Make sure that you can hear me okay, you can see me okay. Instagram decided to freeze for no reason at all. But okay, we're here. Great. So what I just want to review really quickly before I get into the next one, okay? We're going over today 10 tips, right, to help you solve problems with your ideal customers in your business, okay? Number 1 is understanding your ideal clients' pain points and their needs. Number 2 is building trust and establishing a personal relationship with your ideal customers, right? You have to have this really powerful relational aspect to your business and to your brand, okay? Makes sense? We're still here? Great. Number 3, the third tip I gave was listening actively to customer feedback, but also positive or negative. So you have to be able to take this information in stride and use it to make your process better, to make your business better, to make your brand better. Makes sense? The next one is using data and research to inform your problem-solving process. So if you have a problem that you're solving and where they are and where they want to be, you're meant to close that gap for them with your services, with your products. Like, that is your responsibility and your job as a business and a brand, right? However, we have to make sure that we're using data and research to inform that process. So what I was mentioning was Google Trends is a really great tool to use where you can search these different trending topics. There's other search engines that you can use to see the questions that people often ask around a particular pain point or around a particular topic. And it's very eye-opening to do that, because sometimes what we think our ideal customers are struggling with, they're really not. And if you have some confusion or you don't have clarity around who your ideal customer is, on my website, if you go to moonfulmama.com/shop, there is a free ideal magnet or magnet profile guide, which is going to help you gain clarity around who those dream clients are, the characteristics of them, the problems they solve, and how you can begin to create your service or product suite around those things. So check that out if you haven't downloaded that freebie. Super helpful. But the whole idea here is that, and I've said this from the very beginning, the very, very beginning, is that when the why is clear, the how is easy. So what happens oftentimes is I'll be working on a website, or I'll be doing, oh, you're so welcome. Oh, I'm so glad that that download was helpful for you. Definitely download it. There's some other freebies up there. I'm going to have another really great tool coming out hopefully within the next week or so stay tuned. No problem. You're so welcome. So the whole deal is that when the why is clear, the how is easy. What happens is that when I work with a lot of businesses or brands, they're doing all these different strategies they're trying, but they have no clarity around their ideal client. They have no clarity around their why. They have no clarity around their brand purpose or their brand vision or their brand values or their brand voice or their brand identity. And it's like, oh my gosh, no wonder your strategy's all over the place. You don't know who you are. You don't know why you're here. So solving a problem is one of the anchors and one of the ways for you to craft your brand purpose. You know, it's like the foundations to having a business and a successful brand, right? So that's why I was mentioning all of these things. The next thing, so number 6, is creating a customer or client-centric culture, meaning everything is about serving your clients. At the end of the day, it's not about you. It's about them. And this is frustrating. This is really frustrating and confusing because a lot of us, certain business mentors, big names, right, over time, told us, well, we have to, especially if we got into higher education for ourselves, like it was all about what we do. It's all about our resume. It's all about what we bring to the table, which is true to an extent, but we have to make a pivot and make our messaging, make our branding, make our offerings not about us, about them, about your ideal clients. Remember, it's all about problems that you can help solve for them, right? So what often happens is a lot of, and again, I don't think it's like your fault or anyone's fault. It's just this ideology that's perpetuated among like the business industry, the business like coaching and mentorship industry, is that you have to showcase like, you have to showcase who you are and all of these things and blah, 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 blah. Meanwhile, that's not serving your ideal client. Your ideal client wants to know that you know what they're going through, right? Like that's the whole, hey Jess, that's the whole thing. Like they want to feel understood. They want to feel understood. So sometimes when I work with brands and they're like, like their numbers aren't bad. They're pulling in 6 figures. They're doing pretty damn good for themselves. However, their client engagement sucks and their retention rate sucks. And I start to unweave and unpack like, well, your brand culture and how you're operating isn't client-centric. It's leadership-centric, or it's just like whoever the head figures are of that brand, it's very centralized on them and it's not about the ideal client. And that's not going to help you grow and be sustainable over time. So this is why as you're crafting and figuring out the problems that you want to solve for people, you have to make sure that you're crafting your brand and your messaging around that. How can I make this about them today and not me today, right? Like it's this very humble, service-oriented value that helps you stand out in every industry amongst your competition. I'm telling you, it doesn't even matter what industry it's in because it's not commonplace. It's not. So when you start to engage in actions and behaviors with your audience this way, you're going to stand out amongst your competition. I'm telling you, you will. So creating this very customer-centric focus will be very helpful in you, solving a problem for your ideal customers. Number seven. Ooh, this is a good one. Get your tea ready. Does everybody have their tea? Okay, number 7, communicate transparently and honestly with your customers. This is what I was talking about in my stories today. I'm like, I know I kind of opened up a can of worms here, and I know I have to speak to the ethical decision-making process a little bit, and this is the problem. A lot of business mentors and like gurus, they don't talk about this part of like marketing and building a brand and building a business. They don't. There's very few. But we have to make sure that when we're communicating with our ideal clients or our ideal customers, right, that we're doing it from a place that's in alignment with our ethical principles as a business and as a brand. So one of the ways that we can do this is by communicating honestly, transparently, and clearly. So, and I'm going to give you a little tip because let me know if those who are on live, are you a conscious consumer? Like you can kind of cut through the BS. Like if someone's trying to sell you something, can you put in the chat if you're a CC? Put CC if you're a conscious consumer like myself. And thankfully, as time has gone on, I'm able to I have a pretty decent BS detector when I could see certain things. So let me know in the chat if you know what I'm talking about. So one way for you, just as a consumer, right? Okay, I see you. One way for you as a consumer to kind of keep your radar up is something called word salad. And it's exactly what it sounds like. Word salad. It's the business or brand, they're kind of using fancy words or trending or triggering words, but they're not giving you any meat, anything to to chew on, or there's just you're asking them questions and they're just dancing around the answer. It's just words. It's just all over the place, and it's, come on, that is not helpful to your ideal client. Using fun buzzwords, and it depends on the industry, every industry has this word salad thing that you see, right? But we have to do better. Let's do better. These are the brands that stand out, do better with this. No, I'm going to give you meat to chew into here. I'm going to give you something to bite into to really help you make some pivots and some changes in your life, So don't just give word salad. Give something for your ideal clients to chew on, to use. And not that you have to give them all the trade secrets, right? But give them something that will help them overcome something in their life, especially if it's related to a particular problem that you want to help them solve, right? So just make sure that you're communicating clearly, that you're communicating transparently, because in you doing that, you're also, besides communicating, is also listening, right? So as you're asking the right questions, some of the best people in business have their mouth closed a lot of the time, and they do a lot of observing and they do a lot of listening. So in the same breath, besides communicating and being honest, it's also being able to actively listen and understand, okay, this is what I'm hearing, this is what you're struggling with, and this is how I can help. And this number 7 here was really evident to me when I relaunched Moonful Mama this month, because I would jump on these. I do these free discovery calls now. So you can book at any time a free discovery call with me where we sit one-to-one with each other over Zoom for at least 15 minutes. Usually is a little bit more than that, but I really just listen and let you pick my brain and add value to you. And right out the gate, I'm very transparent. Hey, this is what I'm hearing. This is what I'm seeing. This is what I could potentially offer to help. Or if I can't, this is who I would recommend. And right out the gate, there's no surprises ever. We don't want surprises. We want honest communication from the very beginning, right? So even doing a little audit, in my interactions with my customers, how am I in terms of honesty, right? We want to be able to have that really healthy relationship with them. Does that make sense? Give me some hearts, throw some emojis, put in the chat if this makes sense. Because you would be amazed how this is not commonplace. And if you want your customers to come back, if you want your customers to refer other people to you, guess what? This has to be a non-negotiable. It's all about relationships. Business is so much about relationships. So much about relationships, right? Okay, I see you. Awesome. So number eight, this is a big one. Empowering customers to provide feedback on the solutions that you gave them. So again, this is why being relationship focused is really, really important when it comes to your business and your brand. Your customers, at the end of a service or product purchase from you, you should be able to say, hey, I'd love to hear about your experience. And you should feel confident to ask them that, and they should feel empowered to give that to you. That honest feedback. What was your experience like? What was your biggest ahas in receiving this service from me? Or what did you love most about the product that you bought from me? Whatever the case is, right? We really have to empower our customers to provide feedback. And listen, not just for the sake of, I could put a testimonial up on my website. It's to showcase them. Look at what they did, oh my gosh, that's incredible that you were able to do that. That was amazing that you were able to overcome that. That was amazing that your whole experience shifted and changed after you bought my product, whatever it is. We want to be able to empower our people to do that. And that feedback is so important, because that's how you're going to make adjustments and make changes for your business operations, for your product suite, for your service suite. So we really want to be able to empower our people to give us those feedback, those feedback points about how, what it is that we offered and how it helped them. Not just if it did, but how it did. That's really important. So that's number 8. Number 9 is, this is a big one. This is a big one. Continuously monitor and evaluate how you're doing with solving problems for people. So it's not a one and done. It's not a one and done thing, because often we think, okay, this is the problem that I'm going to solve for people, and that's it. Well, what if you solve the problem for a lot of your ideal people, and now they have a new set of problems? Can you help them with that new problem? Or do you just want to keep working on the same problem and generating new leads and new people, right? So this is why we have to continuously monitor and evaluate how we're doing with solving a problem for people, where people are at in terms of their journey of transformation with whatever it is that you're selling. But we have to continuously monitor this. We can't assume that it's a one and done type of thing. I only relaunched Moonful Mama at the beginning of this month. It's not even the end of January, and already I noticed some shifting patterns that are going to happen with my products and with my services going into Q2 of this year. I already know. I could already see it. I already see it laid out on a map. So we have to continuously monitor and evaluate the effectiveness of what it is that we're doing. Hands down. And the last thing, number 10, and the most important one. My 10th tip for solving a problem with your ideal customers, with your business or your brand, is your brand legacy, which is your brand's vision. It's your long-term aspirations. It's that expanded, expansive thinking process. It's that vision casting process, not just 5 years from now, not just 10 years from now, not just 20 years from now. How does your brand want to leave its mark? It's a big question, but it is my biggest tip of the day. You want to make sure that the problems that you're solving for people aren't just little quickie, superficial problems. We want to be offering our ideal customers long-lasting solutions to some serious problems that they're struggling with. And even if the problem may seem kind of vain or somewhat superficial, that doesn't mean the impact of your service or your product will be like that. It can have this long-lasting impact on your ideal customer. So I don't know about you, but when it comes to entrepreneurship, I'm not in it for the quick cash, quick buck type of thing. You can get that in a lot of places, a lot easier, right? I'm in it for the long haul. I'm in it for the long game, where the websites that I'm building for brands now, I'm confident that 5 or 10 years from now, the formatting and the flow of their revamp and everything, they'll be good for a while. And that helps me sleep better at night. Or when I have a small business that started doing mentorship with me, and she's building an international based brand, and she's trying to strategize how to build not just wealth for herself, but generational wealth for her family. Like, yes, like this is why don't like, you can't keep your vision like so like small focused. It could be so much bigger, the problem that you solve for people. And I firmly believe that building a business and a brand from this place of clarity and empowerment, you're able to live out your legacy. You know, it's not just about, oh, you know, I want to make I want to make like 6 figures or 7 figures or whatever. No, it's so much bigger than that. Like, what is the mark you're going to leave when all is said? Hi, Margot. When all is said and done. You know, that's why this is the biggest tip of them all. It's like, if you want to solve a problem with your ideal clients and your ideal customers, your brand legacy and your brand vision has to be at the forefront of what you do all of the time. It's a really good way to like test out decision making in your brand and in your business. And while I'm kind of wrapping up my 10 tips, we have a couple of people still on live. So if you have any questions, please put it in the chat now so I can answer them. It could be anything related to business, branding. If you're having a pain point and just want to vent, that's fine. So like every day, like before I post something, when I'm working on a client website project, when I'm getting ready for a really intense VIP day with one of my clients, when I'm answering emails, when I'm sending voice notes and doing some mentorship and coaching in between school drop off and pickup, that's always in the forefront of my mind. Is this helping me? Is this helping me leave my mark today? Is this helping me really leave a legacy? So when all is said and done with Moonful Mama, what's going to remain? Well, I want the values and principles of what I instilled in my clients to remain. I want them to show up to their businesses and their brands in a whole new, energized, empowered way, right? So like, it's a great tip to operate from. Everything coming through still, so hopefully we're good. But yeah, so let me know, those who are on live, did this resonate with you? It's hard to hear you now. Can you hear me? Let's see. It looks like it's better on my end, but let me know if it's good on yours. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know why Instagram is being... Okay, good. Great. So yeah, while I'm here for a couple more minutes, please drop any questions that you have. You can also put it in the chat, what business that you're in, so you guys can kind of network with each other and connect with each other. But yes, please, for the next couple minutes, those who are on live, ask any questions you have in regards to branding, business. Sorry, my hair is being all weird. How often do you outsource things you hate to do in your business? That's a great question. As often as I feel like I need to, and I'm able to, honestly. If you could, I'm going to ask a question for those who are on live. If you can outsource one thing in your business right now, and money wasn't an object, what would it be? I'd be so curious. But I outsource quite a few things when I feel like I need to, especially depending on my energetic capacity to get a task done or an operation done, like in my business, right? Just because I can do everything doesn't mean I should do everything, if you follow me. But I would love to hear, like, if money were no object, what would be one thing that you would outsource right away? right away. And often it's the same answer for a lot of people. So I can't wait to hear. I can't wait to hear it. But yeah, it honestly, it's like a seasonal thing. And it's like it depends on the needs of my business at the time, right? So, at certain points in my business, one of the first things that I outsourced was social media management because I didn't have the energetic capacity or the time. I was like a new mom. I was doing all of these different services in the community, and I didn't have the capacity to like do it anymore. So I think it depends, like for me, seasonally, what's going on. But I'm very clear, just like every entrepreneur should be very clear on where they begin and like where they end with certain things. Like I'm not going to be the one like drafting up a client legal agreement all on my own to sign before a service. Like that's not my zone of genius. Like, no. Like I'm going to hand that over to my legal team and they're going to help me with that. So I think it's a seasonal thing for me. It's an energetic capacity thing for me. I know, one of the first things that for sure I definitely needed to invest in was like some virtual assistance help because when I did any sort of Moonful Mama launch, it's like I needed so much help on the back end at some points because the influx can happen. So it depends. It really, really depends on seasonally what's going on. So I hope that makes sense. And someone said social media marketing takes up a lot of my time, so probably that. Yeah, it often does. And that was one of the first things when I first launched Moonful Mama years ago. That was the first thing I delegated out. I'm like, nope. Can't do this. It's taking up way too much of my time. And what I'm hoping to do, actually, I'm glad you brought up social media, is that I'm hopefully going to be crafting some I have some free digital products on my online shop page. So if you go to moonfulmama.com/shop, there's a couple of freebies up there already, which you can download. There's also going to be some really low cost, super affordable tools for you to use as well. And one of the common problems that a lot of my ideal clients struggle with is that strategy piece when it comes to promoting what it is that they're doing. And a lot of people struggle with that because it does take up so much time. It really, really does. And you want to get visibility. You want to get your name out there. But we have to make sure that we're creating content and we're doing things for our brands and our business in a way that's time efficient. And there could be nothing more inefficient of our time than social media because we'll get ready to post something and then, oh my gosh, we get stuck on the algorithm or we just feel scattered and like we feel all over the place. And I'm hoping that some of the tools, the digital tools that I'm creating will be helpful in helping you just manage your time in general as an entrepreneur, especially when it comes to the marketing piece and doing it from a place that's cohesive and in alignment with your brand. So you're going to see the products and tools that I'm going to be releasing. Some of them are going to build upon each other. So in the next week or so, I wish I could get it out over the weekend, but I don't want to put that pressure on myself. Probably by next week sometime, I'm going to have this amazing, I cannot wait to show all of you. Maybe I'll do a little sneak peek and show you. Should I show you just a little sneaky peek of what I'm going to be releasing? Let me see some hearts if you want me to show you quick. Let's see. It's like next level. I don't think I've ever created a digital product this comprehensive for business stuff ever in my life. Ever. Okay. So, let me see if so hopefully next week, I'm hoping by next week, I'm going to be releasing, it's called Your Brand Blueprint. It's my 2023 workbook. So hopefully this will be something that I'll release annually, but it's this it's like if you had Moonful Mama in your pocket and at your disposal, this is me and what I could start to help you with. because a lot of people, they want to get scrappy with building their brand. They don't have a lot of disposable income to, hire a branding expert to do a total website revamp, but they want to start getting some things into alignment. And so a lot of the things that this workbook is going to do is really teach you what branding is and all of the different elements of branding. And exercises and, oh my gosh, it's so intense, but I'm going to show you a little sneaky peek. I'm not going to show you everything, but just a little sneaky peek. This is one of my favorite pages ever in the whole thing. Hold on. Let me flip it. Okay, cool. Can you guys see this? Okay, so in this branding, we do so many things in this branding workbook, but one of the things that I'm going to be teaching you is these different parts of your brand wheelhouse, the elements of all of it, and then I'm going to be teaching you how to fill this in for your particular brand. So your brand identity, your values, your legacy, some bonus features, your brand culture, your purpose, your story, your position. And what we're going to be doing is going through every section of your brand wheelhouse. And I have these really cool exercises that you go through. It's like this little incubator where I really help you get clarity around those particular elements for your brand. It's like a really condensed version of a lot of the work that I do with my web design clients, my branding development clients, my biz mentorship clients. And so what I do is I walk you through your entire brand wheelhouse and I help you develop it. And what's really cool and how this all ties in to what our topic of the day is it's all about your why. It's all about the problem that you solve. It's all about who you are as a brand and what it is that you bring to the table and how you can solve a problem for people. It's all about clarity, folks. It's all about clarity. And that's why a lot of my tools that I'll put out, yes, a lot of them will be just nitty gritty and strategic, but a lot of them are going to be clarity focused and helping you figure that out because it's everything. Because remember, when the why is clear, the how is easy, right? But before I tap out, does anybody have any more questions before I jump off? I'm going to have to do a discovery call in a couple of minutes. So I want to make sure before I do that call that everyone feels complete and feels good here. But remember, I want you to think of your business as the body, right? Think of your business as the body of your company, and your brand is the soul of it. It's the essence of who you really are and what it is that you do. It's really the main anchor that you're going to come back to time and time again. And so I'm hoping that some of the things that I put out there, whether it's a live or it's a digital guide or whatever it is, that it's really adding value to you and helping you remember what your anchor is in terms of your branding. But it takes some work. It takes some practice to develop that. It's not so easy to figure it out on your own. So I wanted to take the guesswork out of it, take the hard work out of it, and just give you right on a silver platter, okay, these are the questions that you have to answer so you can get clarity around those things. Okay, I'm just checking the comment box. Okay, awesome. I don't see any more questions, so I just wanted to say thank you so much to everybody who tuned in for our free branding little chat today. And I hope that this was of value to you. And of course, as always, if you have questions, send me a DM. We can jump on a discovery call. You're so welcome. We can jump on a discovery call together if you feel like you need that. And I will catch you next time. Happy growing.